Right, we are off. So I just had a little bit of a roll, our copyright warm up. And now we're into just a little hit out. It's just a good one to do through recovery week. Like I said, this is a bit of a unexpected recovery week. Just got lots going on and trying to go away to see some family shortly, so it's fitness is down a little bit. But this is not a bad one either, because a friend of mine at the moment is doing a recovery week as well that I've been helping a little bit. And this is what I've asked him to do, just do this one a couple of times through the week. It's interesting because if you've been training hard, you come into your recovery week, unless you're really used to doing it like this, sometimes you just feel like you should be riding a lot more, because you don't want to, like if you have a week of doing it easy, like a heap of easy rides or a week off, you might lose fitness. But it's important to know if you back that volume right off, still have a few little hard hit outs like this, you should, everyone's different, you should come up pretty good on race day. But if you feel like you've got having a day off and you think, oh gee, I really should be riding, it's just important to remember that you're having it off for a reason. You just want to be super fresh and super strong on race day. And I must admit, when I was much younger, there's only ever a few days, only like 2 or 3 days, that I ever felt so unbelievable. And they weren't all race days. Some of them were just a trainer day that obviously the previous day or the previous week, it just made me come up so fresh. But I don't feel like that. I don't have those days anymore. I haven't had one of them since I started training in the last 2.5 years. Not like I used to anyway. But I've experienced a few days in my life where just unbelievable feeling. So strong. Would love to feel like that on a race day these days, especially at the intensity that I can normally ride at. As I said, videos won't be coming too much for a few weeks. A lot of travel happening shortly. Still keep the Facebook page, lots of articles and everything that I read. I think it's interesting. I'll put the link on there so it keeps everyone can see the sort of stuff that I look at, and it's a good chance it's the sort of stuff you're into as well. So but the old YouTube channel might be neglected for a bit. I'm hoping to get a GoPro at some stage, and then do a few outdoor rides as well. do a bit of different stuff, or it'd be good to repeat some of the workouts outside just to see the different wattages indoor versus outdoor is like. For me, difference anyway. It's usually pretty close. It wasn't to start with. My first test inside, I think was about 80 watts difference. Just not used to being so rigid on a bike. Now, I haven't been outside for most of this year, to the point where I could do a test anyway. But I'm usually somewhere around that 10 to 20 watts higher outside. So I'll certainly do some kind of outdoor testing while I'm away, but it just might be like a 2x8. At least that first 8 will be a good indication, because my fitness is down a fair bit. Hang on, we'll just get through. I'm used to my fitness through all this year has been higher than now and what I'm going away with. But I will be able to, I'll be good for an 8-minute effort at my best, and it's just good to see that number against my best inside. That's hard. Gets the heart pumping. So like I was just saying in the previous warm-up video, I am back on round rings for a bit, because where I'm going, lots of steep hills, so I'll make use of my 36-28 for sure. But, and even though the isometrics are meant to be best for climbing, I don't use any of the spaces up front, so my chain rings, I get to front derailleur rub in the top 2 or 3 cogs, and don't like the noise. Plus, the rounds are dead silent. Nothing like a new chain or freshly cleaned and lubed. Dead silent in every gear. You hear it a little bit here, but outside it's completely silent. Yeah, looking forward to, well, not looking forward to an 8-minute all-out test, but I'm not sure of the best road where I can do a 2x8. I have to put my thinking cap on, but it's probably not really a fair comparison because my fitness is down. So a 2x8 might not reap the same numbers. It might not be a fair comparison, I guess is what I'm saying, where I just compare an 8-minute all out to my first 8-minute best I've ever done inside. Just interesting to see what the difference is indoor versus outdoor. I really don't want to do lots of really high intensity stuff along the way. I just want to enjoy the scenery and riding with some friends, having a chat. Didn't get to ride yesterday at all. It's for a recovery week. I wouldn't normally anyway, but you can tell that the legs, and I feel, I guess, a little bit fresh, but the legs are tight from those opening sprints. You can sort of tell that something different's happening. It's not a normal week. Halfway. Heart rate's up. One more. Certainly, I don't know. I've done this workout a number of times before, but not at this intensity. Since I've gone to 350 FTP, I didn't go through a whole program with the recovery week. Yes, this is a good example of lower volume, but still high intensity. Well, obviously it is. Certainly don't feel like doing another 10. Lungs are hurting a bit. Legs are a bit tight. You can tell I've come from a day off or a few easy days. So it's definitely more uncomfortable than what it normally would be. VO2 max, I suppose that's why. Oh, legs are dead. Oh, please don't. It's hard to start erg when you're in a high wattage. Maybe now. I heard you should maybe do shorter intervals on the small ring. I'm on the big one at the moment. Makes changing between the power a bit quicker apparently. It's amazing how fast your fitness drops. Probably need one or two more stops through these. Legs are tight. Too much in holiday mode. I'll have a bit more chat about why I'm doing some of this after another pull. If this was tapering into an actual race week or a test, I'd be pushing harder. Well, they were definitely hard. Like I said, if it was a test week or a race, like a real test week, coming off a proper block, I'd suffer through. Just had more than enough in the end, but it's just hurting a bit in the middle. Like, it's just not, there's no point to the suffering. Right, at this very second anyway. There's always a point to suffering if you want to get better. I'm months away from a race or another real test. Honestly promised myself I wouldn't do any intensity for a while, but I've got Sam as my friend. Should be doing this today as well. You know who you are if I'm talking to you now. Thought it'd be good to do this as well, but once again, could I have made it through? Yep. Legs were tight, energy's down a bit. Like as I said in my previous warm-up video, I'm 12, I've dropped over 12 in my 12 points in my CTL in the last few weeks, which tells you I probably haven't been this low all year. Just lots going on at the moment. So to hit that at that intensity, which is the highest I've ever done that workout, and I guess do 95% of it at 100% of the intensity. Yeah. That's why I don't feel like I'm too far off the mark. But they're VO2 max intervals, and that's getting high end VO2. I think VO2 starts at 105%, 106%. So if my FTP is right, which it would definitely be down a bit now, so at my fittest I'd start VO2 work at 370. That's 405. So we're way above, we're way into the VO2 for me. Switch back. We'll ride for around a couple of minutes. Legs spin over nice and easy. Yeah, so it's funny, I think my VO2, sorry, my FTP, I think has certainly dropped because I've done no hard work in a few weeks, really. Certainly nothing of duration. But I think my short power is not a long way off to be doing VO2 stuff over 400. It's after a day off and a couple of weeks of easy stuff, that's pretty good. Just enjoy riding the bike for a bit and then we'll gradually build up. I think when I actually, I'll probably do another build phase, I would think early in the year, I'll build it up again, and then I'll switch across to just racing, and then I probably won't worry about FTP stuff because I will just enter in the races where I'm on the rivets at least every second day, maybe every day. See what happens. I'll just chase the points, but there's no need to do FTP tests because I don't think many other races, it's no real time trials where a lot of the big guns enter. It's mainly just the group races. Alright, I'm going to leave you there. If you haven't checked out my previous video, do that because it gives you a bit of a channel update on what's happening in the coming weeks and why there'll be a lack of a few videos. Yes, you can always jump across to the Facebook page. Pretty sure even on Twitch there's a link there. If not, you can always find it via the YouTube one. There's links everywhere. The page will give heaps up updates with different articles and stuff. All cycling things in general, just whatever I'm reading about or seeing. Alright, we'll leave it there. I'll wind the legs out. We'll chat again in a day or two. Alright, catch up.